Welcome to Into the Heart. Thanks for joining us today. I want to pick you to picture something. Imagine you're in a bank. Somebody comes in and starts shouting commands. Hostile takeover, right? Your anxiety level would do what? Probably go up. But suppose you experience this every time you're at the bank and this person comes and shouts their commands and you have noticed that if everyone just ignores them, they'll just go away. No action needed. You learn that you don't need to listen either. What if your boss comes into your workplace and they start shouting commands across the office at you? Do this right now, blah, blah, blah. Drop what you're doing. What does that say? It says what you are doing doesn't matter. It's not very important. And the fact of the matter is, you might be doing something important. So let's put this in the parenting context. You come in, you start shouting commands. Little Bobby might be in the middle of a breakthrough on discovering fluid dynamics or Newtonian physics as he drops things off the second floor. Or maybe your child is developing their social relational management strategies and skills as they play with their dolls or figurines. And you're coming in and shouting commands kind of says what you're doing is not important. Now, if you're always doing this, this would also bring a rise in their stress levels. And they might need to tune you out just to manage their own anxiety. Or if they discover that if they do tune you out, you go away, then, well, they'll do that so they can continue with their Newtonian physics experiments. There's another thing that likely happens too. So if you have a teenager or a teenager, toddlers and teens developmentally have an elevated counter will response, which basically means in order to develop their sense of self and will and identity, they will instinctually feel the compulsion to resist when they perceive force or coercion, even if it's in the form of bribery. Not only does bribery or threats or whatever diminish the intrinsic value of what you might be proposing or wanting them to do, but if you're doing it forcefully, they will instinctually resist. There must be something wrong with this if you have to pay me, or if you have to dangle an ice cream cone in front of me to get me to do this. There must be something wrong. There's part of us that kind of has that process, isn't there? What's the catch? Our brain asks. And our kids developmentally need this counter will response because they're differentiating. They will never grow up if they don't have this active in them. But it can drive us bonkers as parents. So we might try a collaborative approach. Let's remove the coercion, okay? So we come in and, hey, Bobby, would you like to such and such? Or, oh, Susie, how about we blah, blah, blah now, right? Or what if we ... These are suggestions. They're not instructions. They're not directions. So your child just heard you ask them what they want, what their preference is. And if they're a young child, their processing speed is slow because the brain machinery just isn't there yet. So they're doing a cost-benefit analysis while you stand there tapping your foot, wondering why they're not just jumping to what you thought was a clear instruction. And it brings them anxiety because, one, they have to choose. So there's this existential crisis happening right now, to speak in Kierkegaardian terms. But extra stress because obviously you're expecting something and their brain is calculating and they know that something's wrong. And that slows things down even more. And then if there is a repeated or frequent experience of, they'll give you the honest answer, well, this is what I want, when they finally get to that. And then you're not happy with their answer, or you even get mad at them, or you're punitive or something. boy, well, every time you come to them with a question, they will start feeling anxiety no matter what. And because they're afraid of disappointing you, and they're afraid of failure, and they're afraid of punishment. And they're really confused because, like, are you really asking me? Are you asking me what I want? Or does that make sense? So they might even stop acknowledging the question. They might tune you out just to mitigate their own anxiety. So hopefully, most of you watching this up to this point are going, what is this guy describing? I've never seen or heard anything like that. Hopefully, that's true. It's possible, unfortunately, it's maybe very likely that at least most of us have at least done one of these things once or sometimes. And it's frustrating because we're sincerely, and this is something I'm quite certain of about everyone who could possibly watch this video, you're doing your best. You're trying. And it's really frustrating when it's not working and you don't know why. And so let's get to maybe another way of doing it. So how do I redirect my child so I get action going without evoking counter will or this anxiety storm that seems to take over, and they start acting bonkers sometimes. And it's like, where is this coming from? Well, so what do? I've got to gather them. I've got to collect them first. So I'm going to say this 3-part thing over and over for the sake of your memory. Collect, connect, direct. Okay? I've got to collect them. It might mean that I need to go over there, because if I'm hollering from downstairs, that's not necessarily collecting them. They might not come down. I need to meet them in the middle of the physics breakthrough that they're doing right now, or the negotiation or whatever thing that they're in the middle of. I might need to go and meet them where they are, and maybe even bend down to their eye level so it's not this condescending, hostile takeover. I need to go, I need to gather, I need to get their eyes connecting with my eyes and their attention on me so that they've paused what they're doing. So I need to collect or gather them. I need to connect. I probably connect on what matters to them, what they're doing. This is going to take you an extra 10 or 15 seconds, but connect with what they're in the middle of, that they're probably pretty delighted with. And it would mean a lot to them if you join in their delight. You connect with them. And then when you have their eye contact and the smiles and the nods, then you can direct them. And I would say keep it simple, keep it clear. 2 steps. 2 steps or less. Okay, Bobby, in 2 minutes, we're going to the grocery store. You got to put your shoes on. When the beeper goes, we're going to put the Legos down and we're going to put your shoes on. Okay? So you might need to let them finish. But that direction is clear. It's simple. It's 1 or 2 steps. You might even, and this is important, especially for kids with ADHD, you might need to get them started. You might need to do it with them. You might need to script it a little bit, right? So if you come in and 2-year-old Roger is in the middle of his chaos in his bedroom and you say, okay, Roger, clean up your room. He starts getting stressed because, like, how do I do that? What does that even mean? It's just the way I set it up now, right? Okay, Roger, here's your underwear. Where's your underwear drawer? Oh, over there. Okay, go put these in your drawer. He runs off and does that. Okay, Roger, here's your socks. Where's your sock drawer? Okay, here, put those. Roger, this is your Lego box. What goes in here? Legos. Oh, are there Legos you can pick up? Yeah. Okay, do that. He did. So you could break it down for them. You could script it. You could join them in it. You can do it alongside with them. And when they hear or receive these directions, they perceive it as something they are capable of. And kids love being capable. And if they're capable and they're not afraid of disappointing you, there's much higher likelihood that they'll do it. And this is a core assumption that does not always seem evident. Our kids want to please us. They're trying their best, just like we're trying our best as parents. They're trying to do what is good and right. And they love pleasing us. And so when we make that easy and clear for them, they've got much higher chance of success in doing so, and we have much higher likelihood of getting the action that we're looking for. So once again, we collect them, we connect with them, and we direct them with simple, clear, not too many steps. I hope that is helpful to you. And I want to say this, like every other video that I make, be patient with yourself and give it time, especially if it's been not going well or properly for a while. It's going to take time for a new way to catch and for the anxiety to come down when these interactions are about to happen, because you're learning and they're learning, whether we're talking about our kids or our spouses or whoever it is that you're engaging with in your life. Give yourself time, be patient, because if we're unlearning other ways of doing things and we're learning new ways, it's going to take time to open up to that and to start responding to it. Fair enough? And if it doesn't just happen like magic, you might do what I just described in some sort of perfect way. I don't know if there is perfect, but if you do it really well and it still doesn't work, it's going to take some time maybe. Give it some time. And the more artful and consistent you become at this, probably the smoother it's going to become. And a final note of maybe an experiment. Instead of us being so dang serious as parents, what if we also try to make this fun? What if it's not just collect, connect, direct so I get the behavioral outcome I'm focused on, but what if I actually try to enjoy this moment with my loved one, my little one? Because these moments will not come back. Why not have fun? Please like and subscribe. That'll help this content get to other people. And let me know in the chat if this works for you, if you have questions, if you have suggestions, because suggestions, let's help each other out. If you have things to add to this or things that work better, please put it in the comments so other people who tune into this can scroll through and maybe find some ideas that they're looking for. All right. So happy trails. Good luck. I'll see you in a future video.